Shout out to Blue Apron for sponsoring this update. Blue Apron is the #1 fresh ingredient and recipe delivery service in the country. See what the fuss is all about and get $30 off your first order when you visit blueapron.com/theknow. Welcome to The Know, I'm Ashley. We've got a blowout of Spider-Man information hitting thanks to some exclusive coverage from Game Informer. In addition to seeing some new gameplay and getting a ton of details, like the fact that the game runs at a locked 30 frames per second on both base and Pro PS4 models, its map is several times larger than Sunset Overdrive. It uses the subway as a fast travel system. Mary Jane's playable. It's got a very impressive photo mode. Well, most importantly, we now know its release date. You'll be slinging around Manhattan on September 7th, 2018. If you want, the game is now also up for pre-order, and it comes with a pretty sweet collector's edition as an option, which has a little statue of Spider-Man perched on top of something censored, probably because it's too spoilery, I guess, along with some exclusive suits to get in-game. Insomniac also revealed they'll be supporting Spider-Man post-launch with new story chapters available via DLC, but no microtransactions. God of War is only a few weeks away. If you've been wondering just how much Kratos action you're gonna get for your buck, well, game director Cory Barlog says we got a whole lot to look forward to, especially in comparison to the older games, which ran, 10 to 15 hours maybe? Speaking with Kind of Funny Games this week, Barlog said one of the systems designers just did his full playthrough to get 100%, so that's literally doing every single thing in the entire game, and he played 43 hours. 43 hours, and he knows what to do. He worked on a lot of the exploration content and the engagement outside of the core story, so he had not seen a lot of the core story stuff. That part was new to him, so that took a little bit, but everything else, that's pretty impressive considering he knew what to do. So, sounds like there's plenty to do in the game. We've also heard numbers of 35 hours for maybe not completionists, but doing a lot of stuff outside the core game. Barlog also recently indicated that there will be plenty to do once you're finished with God of War's story. It won't be quite a new game plus, but something different, and we'll see what that means. God of War launches on April 20th, so not too long to wait. Earlier this week, we got some details about just how good Far Cry 5's launch was in the UK, but now Ubisoft is speaking out about just how successful the game has been in the first week alone across the board. According to some new stats posted by the company, Far Cry 5 is now the second biggest launch in the publisher's history. First place? The Division. Ubisoft says that gamers have spent more than $300 million on Far Cry 5, which probably a combination of in-game transactions as well as revenue generated from sales based on the wording. And they said that digital distribution accounts for more than half of overall sales. They also included a fun little infographic with the announcement showing that players have been mauled by more than 8,000 skunks. Which makes sense, I hate those skunks. And it would take more than 74 hours to listen to every line of dialogue they recorded. So far, seems like the game is doing pretty well. Congratulations, Ubisoft. I quite enjoyed it. We did a video with our impressions if you want to check that out. Filmmaker Jordan Vogt-Roberts has been saying all the right things when it comes to bringing Konami's Metal Gear Solid to the big screen. Now it seems he's also getting some help from the man responsible for the series himself, Hideo Kojima. Vogt-Roberts posted a photo to Twitter of a meeting with Kojima saying that the two were scheming. Oh, I want to hear those schemes. Definitely a good sign for the film that Vogt-Roberts is meeting with Kojima, presumably to give the movie a more authentic feel to the games. Previously, the director said last fall that there had been some pretty extensive rewriting of the script in order to make it feel more true for the fans. And hey, look, now if it's got Kojima's stamp of approval on it, I think everyone is on board. Valve raised a few eyebrows earlier this week thanks to the sudden removal of Steam machines from their platform's hardware tab, prompting a lot of, hey, time to death style announcements all over the internet, of which we were one. However, Valve is saying now that their little console experiment shouldn't be counted out just yet, and that yesterday's delisting was simply routine cleanup. In an update about Steam machines on their blog, Valve wrote, "While it's true Steam machines aren't exactly flying off the shelves, our reasons for striving towards a competitive and open gaming platform haven't significantly changed. We're still working hard on making Linux operating systems a great place for gaming and applications. We think it will ultimately result in a better experience for developers and customers alike, including those not on Steam." So basically they're saying don't count them out yet, they still have work to do, but no one was going to that page. Gone Home was a huge indie success. Look, it did very well both commercially and critically, which really is the dream of an indie developer. In February, Fulbright co-founder Jonathan Nordhagen released his newest indie title, Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. And similar to Gone Home, it had some pretty decent interest from critics, especially because of the news that Sting, yes, Sting from the Police, would be lending his voice to the game. Unfortunately, that pre-launch hype didn't actually translate into sales of the game. In a postmortem on the project, Nordhagen notes that the game's made a whopping $0 so far. Now, that doesn't mean it's sold 0 copies, because it definitely has, but that after paying out to contractors and such, $0 of that made its way to him, which is kind of rough since he estimates he spent around $140,000 of his own money to develop it. The game's reportedly pretty decent. It's sporting a 74 on Metacritic and a 76 on OpenCritic and has very positive reviews from users on Steam. It just hasn't translated into commercial momentum. So we'll see, maybe it's a sleeper hit, maybe it's just an indie that we all missed. Guillermo del Toro is sticking with his Shape of Water studio to make more genre fare. In his first deal after taking home the Best Director and Best Picture Oscars, del Toro will have ample opportunity to create more monsters and to help up-and-comers tell their scary stories. Del Toro signed a multi-picture deal that will see him write, direct, produce, or some combination of all three, movies within the sci-fi fantasy horror realm. He's been a longtime supporter of younger filmmakers. He mentored J.A. Bayona, who's in post on Jurassic World sequel right now, Andy Muschietti, who knocked it out of the park with It last year, helped them get their first movies made. The first movie on the slate is called Antlers and will be directed by Scott Cooper, with Guillermo godfathering the project. Still no word on what del Toro's directorial follow-up to Shape of Water is going to be, but look, around here we got our fingers crossed that maybe he'll be making his big adaptation of H.P. Lovecraft's At the Mountains of Madness. Come on, that would be great. Right. Mark Hamill recently opened up about the future of Luke Skywalker, including the possibility that the character could be digitally recreated or recast, and was surprisingly all for CGI young Luke, saying he's already made sure his family was well aware that he'd be more than happy if his image was digitally recreated for future Star Wars stories after he passes, which hopefully will be a very long time from now. Lucasfilm has promised not to digitally recreate Carrie Fisher for episode 9, but because she passed so suddenly, it was unclear if that would have been something she'd have been okay with. Hamill's made his thoughts crystal clear though, so it's a pretty safe bet. We haven't seen the last of Luke Skywalker. Maybe we'll get some cool prequel-y stuff, some in-between, I don't really know, but either way, it's all about CGI Luke Skywalker for the next couple of centuries. Have you ever wanted to grab a pint at the Green Dragon, or maybe unwind in Rivendell, or explore the mines of Moria, or, I don't know, scale the sulfury cliffs of Mount Doom? Look, if you really have always wanted to do that, you might get your chance. Theme park blogs are buzzing with speculation after a report from Disney and more that part of Universal's mysterious new 4th Orlando theme park could be dedicated to the world of J.R.R. Tolkien and incorporate imagery from Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit films. To make matters even cooler, this gigantic Universal Studios undertaking is also said to be home to a Nintendo-themed land that could incorporate rides around Mario Kart, Zelda, Donkey Kong, a new Jurassic Park thrill ride, and of course, as always, more Harry Potter stuff, specifically the Ministry of Magic, which would be themed around the newer Fantastic Beasts films. All this, yes, very heavy rumors right now, but Disney and more has been pretty accurate with their theme park scoops before. They're the experts in that field. So it's maybe okay to get a little bit excited about these possibilities, because that does sound like a pretty stacked theme park. All right, that's the news for this roundup. Let us know what you think of all of these news stories in the comments down below. To make sure you get all of the updates from every corner of the internet every weekday, like this video, and if you're new to our channel, subscribe to the know. Thanks to Blue Apron for sponsoring this update. You want to get better at cooking? Hey, there's no time like the present, and Blue Apron makes it as easy as possible. They're the #1 meal kit delivery service in the US, and there's a reason for that. They deliver fresh, pre-portioned ingredients, step-by-step recipes, all right to your door, and every meal can be cooked in less than 45 minutes. Plus, their menu changes with 12 new meals every week, so you're not repeating the same thing over and over and over. And they're flexible too. Maybe you're busy one week and you don't want as many meals. That's totally fine. I like Blue Apron because I was never much of a cook growing up, but I enjoy the process and I've been trying to get better. Lucky for me, there's always something that I'm interested in trying. And this week alone, they've got Mexican beef and rice casserole, oregano chicken, and creamy mashed potatoes. Mind you, I'm a sucker for any kind of potatoes, really, so that was a gimme. Spicy fusilli pasta with broccoli. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce that pasta, but I'm gonna make it. They've got apple cheddar grilled cheese. Look, I could go on, but it's making me kind of hungry and my stomach might jump out and eat me. If you want to try it out, Blue Apron is offering our No Buddies $30 off your first order. Just go to blueapron.com/theknow and it'll be applied when you redeem the offer on their site.